Hey guys and gals, welcome back to Bowser Jr. number 1, and for today's video I'm doing a top 5 list of my favorite video games I played in 2025. For the last few years I just made a simple Twitter post, except for last year where I actually went and did another top 5 video, which is right here. So yeah, I thought I'd start a new tradition of actually doing a video of it, because I think it'd be more interesting. I can do a more in-depth take in that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Now, before I actually get into the list, I'm going to do a few ground rules that I've always done. First of all, the game doesn't have to release in 2024. I just needed to have played it in 2024. For example, it could be an NES game that I played, and I really liked it, so I could throw it on the list because I played it in 2024. There's no NES game on the list because I don't know which NES game would really make you be like, oh yeah, this is my fucking game of the year. No disrespect towards NES games, as I know there are some really good ones. Mario 3. Also, another rule is I have to have finished the game in 2024. Which bites one game in particular in the ass that would have had the top spot if I had finished it in 2024. That being Mario and Luigi Brothers Ship. I started it in 2024, but I have still not beat it yet. I'm at the end, though. I'm about to fight Zocket. So yeah. So that's a shame. It also happened last year, too, for 2023, which was I started Mario Wonder, and I didn't finish it until this year. So Mario Wonder got shafted from last year's list, and Mario and Luigi Brothers Ship gets shafted from this year's list. But anyway, that's enough of me going over the rules. Let's actually get into the list. Number 5 is South Park Snow Day. To be completely honest, I needed to flesh this list out. And so basically every new game I played this year is on this list, aside from Mario and Luigi Brothers Ship. I don't play as much video games as I used to. I really only played, like, probably the 6, being these 5 and Mario and Luigi Brothers Ship this year. With a few games that I've already played past years sprinkled in. And I usually only pick games that I know I'm going to like. I'm very safe that way. But with South Park Snow Day, I kind of took a little bit of a risk, because I absolutely love Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole. I mean, if you watch my top 10 favorite video game list, Fractured Butthole is literally on that list. So I was looking forward to South Park Snow Day, and I was disappointed. But it's not as bad as people say. I do have the problems, which is the game is really short with, like, 6 fucking levels. The gameplay is kind of meh, but there are some good things about it. Obviously, the writing, it feels like a South Park episode. It's got the South Park humor to it. It's really cool. I do like the boss fights. Like, specifically the one against Kyle and Stan is really cool and really stands out. Actually, every boss fight really stands out. The one against Cartman's cool. The final boss is really cool. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of replay value to the game, which kind of sucks, because there's a skill tree part in the game that I, like, did not fill out at all going through the story mode. Like, the game expects you to, like, replay it, and I did not do that. I also experienced some bugs, which kind of sucks, but I overall did have a good time playing the game. It was really short, but I only had a few gripes. I know I said that I this probably wouldn't be on the list if I had another game to take the spot, but I gave this game flack, but there are some good things to it, like I mentioned. The boss fights are really good. I did have an enjoyable time, despite me shitting on the game. I feel kind of bad, but it's overall an enjoyable experience. I give it, like probably a 5 out of 10. It's a really quick game to pick up and play, and I like that. With my busy schedule nowadays, I kind of like the shorter ends of games that I can just pick up, and, like, they're easier to get back into. Like, you know, RPGs are a little bit harder to get back into than something like a platformer or something like this. So I do like the fact that it's a shorter game, even though it's a little bit too short. But the writing's really good, and the boss fights are really good. So yeah, number 5 goes to South Park Snow Day. Number 4 on this list might be a little bit shocking to some people, considering I look like the the typical guy that just plays Nintendo games. And for the most part, you are right. But I am actually a big Saw fan. I absolutely love the franchise. It is probably one of my favorite franchises ever. My favorite movie is literally Saw 6. So, yeah, I did play the first Saw game a few years ago. I think it was like 2022. And for Christmas back in 2023, I was gifted Saw 2 Flesh and Blood. And I was excited about it, and I did enjoy the game. I played it in February in 2024, and I did enjoy the game. It is kind of difficult. More or less the final parts of each level, I'm going to call them levels, are each difficult. You have one final trap that ends off each level, and they can be very difficult, especially the first one. When you complete the first level, the first trap they give you is actually pretty fucking hard. So yeah, I did enjoy it, exploring this huge, empty, building, and, navigating traps and stuff. It feels really cool. There's a really creepy atmosphere to it. Out of the first game or the second game, I don't know which one I would prefer. I think I would prefer the first game's kind of endgame traps. Because, like, Saw 2 Flesh and Blood's traps, I mentioned, are very difficult. There are some that are just like, oh fuck, I don't know how I fucking did that. But I mentioned I really did like exploring it. There are some collectibles that I really did enjoy. Specifically, each level has a Billy the Puppet to find, which I really did enjoy, because there's like a puzzle you need to do to get Billy in each level, and I did enjoy that too. There are also case files and audio tapes that I did really enjoy finding, because they add layers to David Tapp's character. I didn't get all of those, because, like, some of those fucking puzzle pieces are really hidden difficult. Literally, there's this one area right before the level's final trap, which was kind of, I don't really know how to describe it. It's like a trap where you have to push someone out of, like, getting burned to death with fire. And before the trap even begins, you have to go backwards in kind of a secret area just to get, like, I think it's like 3 puzzle pieces. And the only reason I figured that out was because I was struggling with the fucking the end of the level trap, so I had to watch a walkthrough, and the walkthrough showed those puzzle pieces. Like, oh shit, that's actually really well hidden. I also really do like the fact that they got Tobin Bell as John Kramer. That is really cool and definitely really helps. And unlike the first game, one problem I did have with the first game of Saw was the fact that they didn't have Hello Zep at the end of the game. It was kind of very disappointing. But this game fixed it and does have Hello Zep at the end. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but as a Saw fan, it feels like you kind of have to end whatever Saw thing you're talking about with Hello Zep. Literally, all fucking 10 Saw movies end with Hello Zep playing. And I do like the ending to this one better than the first game, because it feels like more Saw. Specifically, how you could basically get to choose your ending. And it feels like kind of just like a minor thing at the beginning, as you play as a different character that you never really think of again at the beginning of the game, and you have to choose if he lives or if he dies. And obviously, you're just like, I don't want this guy to die, I'm going to pick that he lives. Then, like, the guy that you've just been playing with for like 40 minutes, you don't see him, and then you play as David Tapp's son for literally the rest of the game. And that decision you made in the first 40 minutes of the game, if you wanted him to live or die, comes into play at the end of the game. And because I chose that I wanted that guy to die, David Tapp's son ended up dying. And then in typical Saw fashion, the guy that I chose to save also ends up dying, which feels like a Saw ending, and so I can appreciate that. So yeah, I really did enjoy Saw 2 Flesh and Blood. It is a difficult game, but I did really enjoy exploring things. It is a good collectible game, even though some of the collectibles are, like, fucking bullshit difficult to find. And I really did enjoy the fact that they were kind of very true to the source material. So yeah, number 4 on this list goes to Saw 2 Flesh and Blood. Switching things up drastically from number 4, which was a horror game, to number 3, which is Super Mario Party Jamboree. Now, I think the best way to actually experience this game is with a friend. I think that is definitely the best way to experience any Mario Party game. is because also a few years ago, what was the Mario Party that came out before this? When I originally played it, I didn't really care for it. That was because I played it alone. I know I'm a fucking loser. But then once I actually got into playing it with friends regularly, the game jumped up a lot, in my opinion. And I'm luckily that literally the day this game came out, one of my friends that lives like 3 hours away was coming back to visit, you know, the shitty hometown that we live in. So obviously we spent the whole fucking day playing Super Mario Party Jamboree, and it was so fun. It's typical Mario Party, but there are some new additions that I really enjoy. Some of the new minigames are really fun. I like that they kind of stick to some classic items you got, like the Boo Bells and the mushrooms and that. But some of the new items really make you think. Like, you have these kind of trap items that you can throw on the board that if someone steps on, you steal their money or you steal a star. And you have some, like, really fucking crazy blocks, too. Like, you have a 4 dice block that you can't stop anywhere. Like, you can't even stop for the star, but you can basically loot the whole fucking board with the amount of spaces you get from the dice blocks. So it's really cool, like, the new items they introduced. The ally mechanic, I think, was done way better in Super Mario Party. But it is still kind of cool. I think that sometimes the ally minigames last a little bit too long. But the rewards you get from the allies is really cool. For example, if you land on a blue space, you get double the money. But downside, you land on a red space, you lose double the money. So it's like a gamble, but it can really pay off. Item space, get 2 items. You land on a star, you can buy 2 stars. So it is really cool. Also, the maps are really unique, and I think are some of my absolute favorite Mario Party boards. The race car one is really cool and really unique. I also absolutely really love the mall one. Note, I haven't played every board in the game because, like, I really only play Mario Party when I hang out with friends. So I think I'm missing 1 or 2. The last board I got unlocked... what was it? I think it was the Western one. So yeah, I don't know. I just had a lot of fun. I do have one big complaint, though. Dry Bones is not in the game. I'm not over it. They put Spike in the fucking game over Dry Bones. It's bullshit. Yes, I had to vent about that. I'm still kind of pissed about that. But anyway, Mario Party Jamboree is a lot of fun, and I really did enjoy playing it. Number 2 goes to Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. Now, this year I actually did get my hands on a VR headset. I might have mentioned this very briefly in one of my Let's Plays, but basically my dad had bought one, and it was kind of an impulse buy, because he, like, didn't really touch it. So I ended up buying the system from him. I think this was, like, April or May. So I played the first FNAF VR, but it's not on this list for the simple reason that I have played it before. But was it back in April or May, I did play the first one, and then right after I played the second one. And I really did enjoy the second one. I think it's really cool how kind of they immerse you in aspects of the FNAF universe. And it can feel really terrifying at moments. Now, I do prefer the first FNAF VR, how it's like you can kind of replay the classic FNAF games, but you can feel like you're there yourself. But Help Wanted 2 has a lot of really cool and unique minigames. For example, Sister Location is in Help Wanted 2, and there are some definitely really cool and terrifying things that entails. The Blora Gallery Walk is fucking terrifying, but is really cool as well. I also really do like the office sections in Sister Location. Like, there's one with Baby, there's one with the Funtime animatronics. Baby's kind of game that she plays in the office is really cool and unique, too. There's, like, a red light, green light section. There's a hide-and-go-seek section. It's really cool and really puts you on the edge. And I also do like how there's, like, security breach things, too. Like, there's one minigame where you have to help Roxy get ready for a performance in that, and I think that's really cool. And then there's a hard mode version to it, which is a lot more difficult because she's very less patient with you. but I think it's cool how they kind of added her ruin aspect, which is the fact that she's like completely damaged and doesn't have eyes. I thought that was really cool. There's also a moment where you have to repair not Funtime Freddy, Rockstar. Is it Rockstar? I think it's Rockstar Freddy, which I thought was really cool too. There's also these kind of like innocent kind of games that help you just really relax, which is like food court minigames. Basically, you're working at the Pizzaplex and you have to serve customers. And I thought that was really cool as well. I just really enjoyed it. And the collectibles, I feel like in this game were a little bit more forgiving than the first game. Because the first game you have to go through and get like fucking 30 audio tapes and how many fucking coins. But here there's like, what, 5 hidden plushies that are really well hidden. Because I didn't know they existed until I was basically done every original game. And then I was like, it was one of the Office games in Sister Location. And then I got like a puppet plushie. And I was like, there are collectibles in this game. Of course there are. So I had to use a fucking walkthrough to find the rest of them. And they're really fucking well hidden. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. And I know there's like a flat screen version of the game that you can get on consoles. But even though I've never played the flat screen version, I probably wouldn't recommend it. Because it's like these games are built to be in VR, and I absolutely really love getting immersed into it and playing it, which is really cool. So yeah, number 2 on this list belongs to Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Help Wanted. Now before I get to number 1, I'm just gonna give one more quick shout out to Brothership, which would have had this spot if I'd finished it in time, but it didn't. So F in the chat for Mario and the Luigi Brothership, which is an absolutely fantastic game that I love, which next week, I'm hoping I can have the game finished by then, and if I do, you'll get a game review of it. Now, on to number 1. Number 1 is Princess Peach Showtime. Now, when this game was announced, I was really excited, because I've been saying for years the fact that Nintendo needs to make more games based on Mario side characters. Luigi's got the Luigi's Mansion. Princess Peach only had, what the fuck was the name of the game? Super Princess Peach, which we don't talk about. We don't talk about that game. So thank God she actually has a good game now. And then you can technically count Bowser's Inside Story, because Bowser was the main character in that, but it wasn't a solo game. But my point being, I was very excited that another Mario character was finally getting some spotlight. And this game couldn't have dropped at a better time, because honestly, the last few years have really had some kind of emotional toll on me as I've been going through some personal shit. And I needed Princess Peach Showtime. I mentioned that when I was talking about South Park Snow Day, that I like a game that's not too long, a game that I can easily pick up and play. Princess Peach Showtime is absolutely perfect for that. It was a game that I could just pick up so easily and turn my mind like completely off and just enjoy the game. Honestly, I haven't gotten a feeling for a long time where it's just like I wake up and I'm just excited to play a game. I know that sounds kind of sad, but it gives me reminiscent feelings of when I was a kid and I got a brand new game and I was just excited to wake up the next morning and play it. Princess Peach Showtime really gave me that feeling again. It's just like each day I did some levels. I thought it was really cool and really unique. I love how that each different level section, Peach has a new ability that is really cool, and some of them are really fucking creative. Like here you have Baker Peach. I know that's not the official name, but I can't remember what the official name is, which is really cool because you actually have to help bake. Like, you progress through the level by baking cookies and cakes, and it's really cool. Then you have, like, Spy Peach, which is really cool. One of my favorites, how you have to basically, like, sneak around in that. And then you have Mermaid Peach, which you get through the level by singing. And, Kung Fu Peach and Sword Peach, where you just beat the shit out of enemies, which is really cool. You feel so fucking OP as Kung Fu Peach. And you also have Ninja Peach, where you're, like, fucking taking down enemies, like, silently, and you, like, they have, like, auto-scroll sections, which I normally hate, but the ones as Ninja Peach were actually really cool and really creative. I absolutely loved progressing through the game because it was like, I don't know what ability is coming next, but it's going to be absolutely really cool and really unique. Detective Peach was my favorite Peach power-up because it was so cool. It actually felt like a mini story away from the story. You had figuring out the mystery as Detective Peach was just really fucking cool, and I loved it. Also, I love this game's collectibles. At times it did make me feel like an idiot and a bad gamer, which is kind of true. I'm not the best gamer for the fact that it is kind of unforgiving if you miss one and you have to redo the whole level just for one. But there's like 6 kind of, I don't know what the fuck they're called, 6 blue star I think it's 6 of them in each level that you have to collect to 100% the game. And I absolutely love that. Also, you can deck Peach up in a new dress and bow, which was kind of cool. Some of them I really like, especially how the ones after you defeat each boss, you get a really unique and really creative dress, which I thought was really cool. Like, there's one that's, like, completely, like, makes Peach look like a fucking disco ball, and that one's really cool. Speaking of bosses, the bosses in this game are really cool as well. I really did enjoy it. Like, there's fucking a bird one where Peach has to beat a bird. The final boss is really cool, too. What the fuck is her name? Fuck, I don't know why. I'm thinking Cursa, but that's from Mario and Rabbids. I don't remember her name, but she's the big bad of Princess Peach Showtime. And her final fight is really fucking cool. And I really enjoy it. The bosses in this game are really good, too. I do have a little bit of a complaint about the game, which was the game, like, progressing through the story mode is perfect. I love collecting the stars. I love going through the levels. I love the bosses. It's perfect. But then, when you beat the game, there's this post-game content, which is where, like, you have to go through every level and find 3 hidden ninjas. And I was just like, really? It's kind of annoying. Especially how I'm the guy that when I missed one of those blue stars, the first thing I would do is go back in the level and get it. If I'd known that at the end of the game there was going to be post-game stuff where I was going to have to go back in every level, I wouldn't have worried about collecting the blue stars until after the game. That's my only little, like, nitpick. But I absolutely really loved the game, and I kind of really needed it. It was a game that I could just, you know, turn my mind off and really enjoy going through each level. Plus, it's only like a 15-hour game, and that's my kind of preferred length of a video game to play, is 15 hours. So I really enjoyed Princess Peach Showtime, and I really needed it. It was a lot of fun. I know most people say it's a really meh game, but honestly, I really loved it. And even though I said that Mario and Luigi Brothership would have gotten the #1 spot, this in Brothership would have had, like, such a close fight. And honestly, I think Brothership just wins slightly because how much of a fan I am of the Mario and Luigi series and how much of a, like, what the fuck, this is awesome moment that I had when this series was coming back. I absolutely love Mario and Luigi Brothership, but this is a game that I needed and I absolutely love. I know a lot of people say it's, like, meh, but I encourage you to go and play the game. You will love it. It's such a relaxing and fun game. Play Princess Peach Showtime. You will not regret it. So yeah, that is my top 5 video games of 2024 list. This is actually kind of a shorter video for me. It's like gonna probably be like 25 minutes long by the time I'm done with the outro, so I gotta look at my video count. Typical in the 40 minutes. So yeah, I don't know, maybe this is an easier one to watch. But anyway, before I get into the outro stuff, I'm just gonna mention that maybe next week's video, is going to be the game review of Mario and Luigi Brothership. I swear, I'm right at the end. I'm about to fight Zocket, but I don't know if there's any post-game stuff. I have literally gone through the game. I've done every side quest I can, and I don't know if there's going to be any post-game stuff. And I'm not going to Google it, because I don't want... This was one game that I didn't want to spoil. The big Mario games I play, I never want to spoil. Like, I force myself to figure out the puzzle myself. I did that for Princess Peach Showtime. I didn't Google shit. And I did that for Mario and Luigi Brothership. Which was kind of annoying at parts, because there's, like, kind of a boss section that you have to do. Or not a boss section, but an enemy fight section. where it's like you have to take down maybe 8 of Zocket's minions, but you have to kill all 8 with one hit. I mean, you can damage them down as low as you want, but you can't kill them unless you kill all 8 together. That was annoying as shit to figure out on my own, but I did. So my point being, if there's no post-game stuff, there'll probably be a review of Mario and Luigi Brothership next week. If there is post-game stuff, it's probably going to be a commentary video next week. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching my top 5 video games of 2024. I'm curious to hear your opinions of the games that I've mentioned, so feel free to leave those in the comments below, and maybe even mention your own top 5 video games of 2024. Anyway, thank you guys and gals so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and remember, you're all awesome. Bye-bye.